Photography for me actually started as a hobby initially, then it became a passion. I became very, very passionate about the subject. I started liking it. Then of course it became a profession. And after that, it has become part of my life. As I always say, my eye is my camera. I don't follow no other photographer at all. I just follow myself. I just follow my passion. I just follow my way of thinking. There's the reason I have created a genre of art wildlife photography. I am actually self-taught photographer. From the very beginning, from the day one, I have done research. I've read books. Then I have picked up the camera, and that's the best way to learn actually, to trial and error. I went through all that grill. As a student, I take a look at all the good photographers' work, all the good movies, all the good visual elements, for example, paintings and other things. But then actually, until and unless you do it yourself, you learn it through your own process, because photography is very practical. You have to do everything yourself. You have to find your way. I was working on Uttar Pradesh tourism campaign as a creative director. Actually, I used to think of the concept and then go to the biggest photographers and get the relevant material and then design it. And then, I remember I did 6 large tourism posters, and they got too much of appreciation. It went abroad and it got a tourism advertising award also, first tourism advertising award internationally. So what happened was then the government approached us to do a coffee table book on Uttar Pradesh. There were no coffee table books at the time on Uttar Pradesh. So I started looking for photographers who can accomplish this coffee table book, because coffee table book takes very long, about a year, maybe 2 years, because you have to capture all the seasons, all the cultures, all the food, all the kind of people, all the tourist locations, all the jungles and all that. So it takes 1 to 2 years. First choice, I went to Raghurai, and he listened me out. Then he said, how much time you have? I said, how much time you will take? He said, 3 years, not before that. I said, please, we don't have that much of time. In the next 4 months I have to finish. Which I said, this is impossible, But then it's a big opportunity. Why should I let that opportunity go? I went with other photographers also. All of them wanted minimum 2 years. So I came back very disheartened, and the agency which was handling it, the managing director, kept his hand on my shoulder and said, Akash, I have seen you doing photography here and there, your personal photography as a hobbyist. I love them. I suggest that you take up this job. I said, I can't do it because I am not a trained photographer. And if anything goes wrong, everybody has to lose. So he said, I am willing to take that risk. So I said, well, somebody is taking that risk and there's a big opportunity. And so I got the job. I started on it. We booked an ambassador. In one go, I did about 7,000 kilometers. Then some trips I made to Uttar Pradesh by train. I completed all the subjects which were supposed to have come in the book. So then I came back, then finally we made a dummy and we presented to the government secretary, and he loved it actually. Finally the book was printed, and actually we got a lot of appreciation. You can say these photographs are non-commercial photographs. Why? Because I had full freedom. Of course it is the first thing is it's a coffee table book for UP tourism, but at the end of the day it became my personal work, because not a single was directed by anyone. Similarly, I remember an advertising campaign like Times of India. Times of India was, I think they were having 155 years of Times of India's existence. So they said we have to, advertise this in a big way. Times of India as a client, they loved the campaign. So they said, but we don't want pictures which are already there. We want all this click. Again, there in advertising, we always work backwards. There was no time. So the copywriter was working on it. She was also a very well-known, renowned creative director, and she said that I know you can do it. You don't have to go to anyone for this project, and you're the one who is going to shoot this. So getting that confidence, I started shooting it. The first shot I took, I remember, Times of India works with a lot of musicians. So I took one of the musicians, I took his tanpura, I went to JNU, and then opened this thing where there was a lot of upheavals, a lot of boulders and all were there, and I made him sit on the top, and I made him sit and with his tanpura, and I told him, you just keep singing. So it was sunset. I shot some black and white pictures, and the musician was small, but environment, the sky, everything was adding so much to that, to the musician, that it became a fabulous portrait. So similarly, I finished the whole campaign, and I got some very, very well-known awards that time, like CAG Award and all that. It's not that I have created, it's already there. Only thing is, perhaps nobody else has tried it out earlier than me. And what I emphasized, maybe because of my design background, is to see a lot of fabulous work in National Geographic and Discovery and other places. And those days there were no such big channels and all that. Only I used to subscribe to National Geographic, so I used to see some fantastic wildlife photography. I started from the day one, I started going to the jungle, and this actually happened unconsciously. It's not that I made a conscious effort, I had to work very hard towards, no. I went to the jungle and started composing the pictures. When I saw a herd of elephant, what I did was, I actually, instead of going close to them, I pulled back and I gave a lot of space to the mountain, to the clouds, to the grassland, and then I made the elephant small. Similarly, when I shot the tiger, what I did was, instead of taking the tiger up front, and what I did was I made him very, very small in that whole canvas of mine. My hero is a tiger, but that hero is only occupying 10% of my whole canvas, of my whole photograph. So I showed it to the world. To make somebody hero, you don't have to make him big. Even if you make him small, how much importance he is getting in your picture with the environment alongside, big sal trees and then small elephant or small tiger. You start correlating that where do they stay, how do they live. Tiger or elephant is the hero, but that doesn't mean you have to make them big. So then what I started doing is, I started designing my wildlife photography, in the sense I would wait for hours and hours in one place only to something to happen apart from just the species. When you look at it, it's like a canvas. You keep looking at it and you decide that, oh wow, what kind of weather it have been. Now you can feel the breeze of that particular scene. So a lot of things, stories, when you stand in front of that picture, you actually start narrating yourself. As I designed my advertising photography, similarly I designed my wildlife photography. Although there is a difference, because in wildlife photography, designing doesn't give you any time, no homework, because once you're going to the jungle, you don't know what you will face. So what subject you will get, how you will shoot, what condition, whether it's flicker of a second or it is there for 10 minutes or 5 minutes or 1 second. So therefore you have to train your mind. Suppose that any subject comes in front of me in this situation, how will I design it so that I can show the environment, I can show the habitat, I can show the species, and all this put together, it should tell a story. So that is what a kind of genre which I created in black and white, internationally magazines have covered this, that it's the first of a kind when I did my second one in Paris. And then it was, I got to know that it's one of a kind. As a photographer, I am never satisfied. I always want to do more. And I always, when I come back, I think, why didn't I do this? It would have been better at that particular point of time. So I'm all the time I'm learning. Every time I get an assignment, even advertising assignment, big assignments, fashion assignments, when I get on one assignment, even after 30 years, I always think that would I be able to deliver this time? Because each time you start thinking that will it be better than last time? And it has to be, otherwise there's no point in my existence. So all the time that challenge is there, and I have seen that when the challenges are more, I come out with better results. When time is less, I come out with better results. When some monetary crunch is there on any assignment, I come out with better result, because that pushes me to a corner. It's like survival of the fittest. So if I'm being pushed in a corner, then I get better results. When you see the worst situation in my life, well, there are many. I went to the jungle with my brother and my friend, and that time I had my jeep. I went to the jungle and I saw one big giant elephant on the main road coming towards us, and with a little kid, and the kid was only 7 to 10 days old. Actually, what I shouldn't have done, it was a foolish thing, it's a learning process, that I jumped out of my jeep and I started going closer to the elephant. And you see, when you are shooting such a wide photograph, you don't realize your distance, whereas optically it gives you that still they are far away, but they are absolutely close. And in the process, the little kid got little unnerved and started creating a flutter or something like that, and the mother got angry, and in the process my hood, I still remember, my hood touched the body of that little kid, and the mother came like that. You can imagine such noise. You have heard wild elephants, how they can scream, actually their trumpet. So I ran towards the jeep, and the jeep was already on. I told my brother to drive, because I know they will come and hit the jeep. I went to the other side of the jeep, and it came, and my brother didn't want to move without me, and I know I'll take at least another couple of seconds to get into the car. I told him, I'll manage, you go, I shouted, and in the meantime the elephant came and hit the jeep, and jeep almost on the two side. It was on the right side it hit, and on the left side it went toppled, like half toppled, and my brother put the race, and the jeep took off, and creating a lot of ruckus and creating a lot of dust. So in that dust I got lost, and so the elephant couldn't see me, and then elephant came back to protect the kid. Then I ran, and my jeep stopped. I got into the jeep, and my friend said, I'll never forgive you for this. You would have got killed, you would have got all of us killed, So I'll also learn, you cannot actually play with nature. The fashion models I shoot with, they are all beautiful from outside, but they are all wild inside. I'll tell you how. They will shoot whole day, and then they will party at night. There's no offense meant, that's how they keep their adrenaline high, They party, and then they enjoy, and then they come back at 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, whatever the call time, they are there. They are, professional people. Opposite of that is when I shoot the elephants. The elephants are actually wild from outside, but they are beautiful from inside. How they are beautiful from inside is they are family people. They are always sticking to their family. They are looking after each other. They care too much about their little ones. They are very sensitive. Even human being, actually they are very sensitive with them. If human being do not disturb them. Before I became a photographer, I used to sketch birds, and I used to go to the zoo and I used to sketch hornbills and the leopards and the tigers and the monkeys and all that. So my knack for wildlife was always there. मैंने बहुत कुछ पाया है, बहुत कुछ खोया है, बट ये आके एंड ऑफ इट ये बराबर हो जाता है एक्चुअली. कोई चीज़ छोड़ के आपको कोई चीज़ मिल रहा तो है ना. So you are always becoming richer. Yes, there are some times I would say that because of my work pressure, because of my handling both advertising photography and also wildlife photography, I had very little time for my family. Yes, but I had a very good understanding, and I hope, I have not really let them down, because at the end of the day one has to keep a balance. Lot of my wishes are not, I can't fulfill them. So therefore that is what keeps me alive, that the moment, the day I get a chance, I will accomplish them. So I'm always looking forward for my new assignment, and whether I create it myself, whether I do it for somebody else, whatever it is, I always want to keep myself on my toes, because what is life without it? So I always think that I have just begun and I have a long way to go.